Let's start off with a kickboxing bout and toss it up to ring announcer Lance Heckel.
In the red corner, 28 years old, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighed in at 155 pounds. He is the All Air Force light middleweight boxing champion from Fornebo, Puerto Rico. Fighting out of 3D martial arts, let's give it up for Jorge Hernandez. And fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, also weighing in at 155 pounds. He is the two-time Texas State Golden Gloves champion from Plainview, Texas, fighting out of Extreme Karate. Let's give a warm welcome to Anthony the Pitbull Washington.
Anthony Washington has some experience in extreme fighting, but he's going to have his hands full with Jorge Hernandez.
Hernandez overwhelms opponents with swarming flurries of punches and kicks. An impressive display of speed and power manhandles Jason Burton and puts him down for the count in the second round of this previous kickboxing matchup.
It's a big knockout there, and Pitbull Washington's going to want to come at him strong. He's got to take advantage of any openings he can find and use his kicks. He says his kicks are his weaker point, and we'll see if he's been working on them since we talked to him last.
So the preliminary feeling out in the first round.
Both fighters coming shin to shin at the same time, neither feeling any pain, so you know they have shins of steel out there. Great counterpunching, almost a knockout there, right to the jaw of Washington. But Washington unfazed. He's going to keep his hands up maybe in the future. He's having a tendency to drop his hands a little bit. Some good jabs coming in fast. These guys are fast.
You can see the skills, boxing skills of Jorge Hernandez coming into play here.
You know, I'm really impressed with both their ability to keep moving. They're circling in the right direction. Fighting a southpaw can tend to throw you off a little bit, but neither of them seems to take an advantage in this respect. They're both keeping their heads moving, keeping active.
Washington is circling around to Hernandez's right, which is what you want to do with the southpaw.
Yeah, they're almost a little bit of a feeling out right now. Still a little bit more. They're tentative, not super aggressive, but I think that's a trademark of a smart fighter. They're going to look for openings. They're going to try to create a situation. Good kick to the body. Boy, the front hand, I'm really impressed. Hernandez, his jabs are lightning fast, and he's turning them into hooks real fast.
A powerful left round kick by Hernandez could have done some real damage if it had got through.
See, watch that front hand. Watch that front hand of Hernandez. It is fast. It snaps right out there. And Washington is wise to keep his distance. Neither fighter really owning the ring or taking the middle. A good push kick by Washington, though. A little bit of an effect. His kicks aren't as bad as he said. Ooh, and a high kick.
If that would have got through, it would have been the end.
Definitely, and that's the great thing about kickboxing is anytime, oh, goes up high, Hernandez goes up high, and Washington luckily had his glove up there. Guys, do not blink. Anytime these two come close to each other, they're so fast it could happen anytime. So great counterpunching. Ref's going to come in and break up the clinch, and that's going to do it for the round.
A very even round. Let's take a look at some of the action. These fighters train to toughen up their legs, so when they have a clash like this, when they're both attempting round kicks at the same time, doesn't seem to faze them.
No, they're not going to be phased, and that clip is real indicative of the fight itself. Very even. One gets a kick in, and Hernandez comes right back with a punch. Neither doing big damage, but both still scoring. It's a tough fight to call right now. There's Clarence Thatch in Hernandez's corner, giving him some advice for round two, and Washington is off the stool, and he's ready to go. Looks a little bit winded, but he does look relaxed.
Both fighters have fresh instructions from their corners.
Let's see if they can come out and find what they were told to look for, huh? Some good low kicks, but nothing scoring.
As tough as these guys are, those leg kicks are going to begin to make an impression and cause a major distraction, and somebody is going to lower their guard.
And I've noticed Washington is having a tendency to drop his hands just a little bit when throwing a kick and throwing a punch. We're going to have to find out if Hernandez will be able to capitalize. But that's much easier said than done, you know that. I mean, anytime they drop their hands, you can score, but it's got to be fast.
And it's got to be a devastating shot that's right on the money, because these guys train hard to shake off some pretty powerful blows.
It does. They're training. I mean, they're going to be taking hits to the head, you know, hundreds of times a week.
Both Washington and Hernandez cautious now as they stalk each other. It looks like Washington was trying some sort of a spinning technique, perhaps a hook kick, but he wisely backed off from it because Hernandez obviously waiting for that kind of an opening.
Yeah, he stayed right out of range. Not really a threat there. A little more feeling out. Washington's got to come out and get away from those ropes. He's going to get back in the corner, then he's just going to get worked.
Hernandez is starting to figure Washington out.
Yeah, great defense. I'm really impressed. He just blocked it to scoop that kick away, no problem. Dunked the punches. Come back with some nice jabs. Kind of leaning over and threw a double jab out there, but it really kept Washington away. Oh my God, a high kick to the head. Washington did not see that coming. It's kind of a slow-mo fall, and Hernandez with a very, very nice high kick.
Sort of a delayed reaction from that kick on the jaw.
Yeah, you didn't know if he was going to go down or not, and that is the end of the fight. And Hernandez raises his hands, and deservedly so. He saw the position, he saw the head, and bam, right to the jaw. And Washington still looking a little woozy from where we are. He's not quite sure what happened still. But Clarence Thatch with a great job of coaching and a great fighter. Let's take a look at this in the replay.
Circling, circling, both men vigilant, but
Wham!
Washington
Right
lowers his hands just for an instant.
Right on the sweet spot, and down he goes. You see this from the rear angle, and you can see tapped him right on the jawline. Boy, when it snaps that head back, that is tough to stay up. And
There's the result of the round kick by Hernandez. Swelling already started under the eye of Washington, but Hernandez paid the price too.
ooh, look at that. Hernandez looked like he might have a broken toe from that. That's I guess the danger of kicking is little toes aren't always that strong, but boy, it sure did get the job done, huh?
And you can see that Washington got his hand up after the blow, but it was just in a reaction that was just a little too late.
Yeah, too little, too late on that one.
And so Jorge Hernandez takes home the WKA belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your new WKA USA champion, Jorge Hernandez.
Let's